How you all doing? It's so good to be seeing you again. Now, I thought, it'd be kind of fun to talk a little bit about Alex Trebek. I'm talking about, of course, the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek, who recently, just about a week ago, lost his battle with pancreatic cancer. And to many people, Alex Trebek was just such an icon. I can tell you, for my whole entire life, especially when I was a kid growing up, that was one of my favorite game shows to watch, Jeopardy. I remember if you could watch Jeopardy and you could answer some of the questions, and I remember having other people in the room with me, and I'd be watching the show, and everybody in the room, we'd be seeing if we could answer the question, and some were a little harder than others. In fact, a lot of them were real hard. But especially if you were a student of history, and you knew stuff like that, even they had stuff about sports, history, every subject you could even imagine. And I remember watching several episodes of Jeopardy, being in the room, like I said, with other people. And we'd all be trying to answer the questions. If one person could even answer a question, oh man, you knew that? Oh man, you're smart. Jeopardy was one of those things that, like, if people could answer the questions, and you'd even be at home trying to answer the questions, as I said, and if one person could answer the question, they'd say, oh, man, you're so smart. How did you know that? I don't know. I studied history. I went to school. I'm interested in this and that, and, I just happen to know it. And then I'll tell you another thing that was great about Jeopardy is the questions that you didn't know, you'd wait to get the answer, and you say, oh, okay, oh, wow, well, I didn't know that. That's interesting. So it was one of those game shows where, you could impress people. If you knew the answer to some of the questions, they think you were really, really smart. Maybe you just got lucky, or maybe, you just happen to know that thing, because maybe it was something you learned in school. But then the other questions, maybe you didn't know, I'd be listening for the answers. And then I'd be telling people, hey, did you know this? Did you know this? Like giving them brain teasers. And I didn't know it before, but because I watched Jeopardy, I learned something. And then I go and, quiz other people, and they think I was so smart. Really, not. I wasn't that smart, but it was such a thing, that Jeopardy. It was part of so many people's lives, and that's what I'm getting at. Because when Alex Trebek, he was such an TV icon when it comes to TV personalities. I mean, who does not know who Alex Trebek is? You don't even have to watch Jeopardy every night, but people, the name Alex Trebek, and what do we associate? Jeopardy. And I think Alex, hosted the show for over 30 years at least. So he's really made his mark. And who can forget, that iconic mustache, people, okay? I mean, you all know what I'm talking about. And again, it's one of those things when you look back on TV history to think, man, it's pretty interesting that one of the things that people associate Alex Trebek with that classic mustache. And I remember when Alex decided that finally he was going to shave off his mustache. I mean, you're going to laugh when I tell you this, but it was such a big deal to people. Oh my God, he shaved his mustache. Oh, why did he do that? Everybody was talking about it. It was a talk of the town. Now maybe Alex really just thought, hey, I've had this long enough. Let's see what I look like without it. Who knows? Or maybe he knew what a big deal it would be. He knew it'd get people talking about him in the show. Who knows? But in any event, it was a big deal. And that's why, even when, Alex Trebek, we saw get old right before our eyes. I mean, even, a few years ago, his hair started to go gray and a little bit white, kind of Snow Whitish. And he got old before our eyes, but he lived to be 80 years old, people. If you looked at Alex Trebek, except for his white hair, he did not look like an 80-year-old man. I tell you, he kept in shape. And when I heard he was 80 years old, I could not believe it because he looked so good. But, here's the other thing. Alex Trebek was one of those people, he left his mark. He meant something to all of us people out there. And that's why so many people were saddened when Alex, a couple of years back, announced that he had been diagnosed with cancer. It hit everybody in the heartland of America right here in our hearts, And it was even a Saturday a week ago when we all learned that Alex had lost his battle with cancer. And let me tell you, Was I totally surprised when I heard the news? Of course not, because we knew he'd been battling cancer. But here's the thing, people. He had a great attitude. He went out the way he wanted to. In fact, I seen something on TV just the other day. The executive producer of Jeopardy came on, and he's saying, Alex, he looked so good right up until the end that he filmed his last Jeopardy episode like just 2 weeks ago, and you would never have guessed that he would be, dead in a week. And from what I understand, there's 30 more episodes, and they're supposed to play the final episode on Christmas Day. So all you Jeopardy freaks, in honor of Alex Trebek, be sure you watch, the final episode, which is going to air Christmas Day. Alex Trebek, over and out. We'll never forget you. Rest in peace, Alex.